All right, I got a few things done while you weren't looking, including figuring out where that running board's going to go. That's from an old Agway tractor. In fact, that would be pretty much the same as the Agway bodywork that I have on. That would be from the same type of tractor of the Agway front end I have on my other tractor. I also have the fenders that match it, so I'm going to get those on as well. And this was a real simple installation. I mean, I figured out pretty much where I wanted it and ended up perfectly lined up with that panel just by chance, really. And it's just through bolted. Those are, where the original holes were. And I just drilled the chassis and it is beautiful. Got the engine back on, the clutch. I am not pulley swapping it. So I had said in one of the other episodes on this, probably if you didn't watch it, this doesn't really matter to you, but I was going to throw a 5-inch engine pulley on it to replace the little 3-inch one that's on there stock. And remember, this has a hydrostatic transmission, so that's kind of an unknown. I wasn't sure if that was going to work to overdrive the hydro. From some people are saying no, that's not going to do anything, it's just going to overheat the trans and kill it. And I'm actually willing to try it, but I don't currently have a belt to work with it. And not only that, there are other factors like the belt guard and a lot of things would have to be changed that I just don't feel like. I really don't want to do that right now. I just want to get the thing operational again before I go that far. Maybe in the future, if you guys are interested, let me know if you want to see a hydrostatic pulley test to see if it'll make it any faster. But for now, it's all back together stock. It will be faster though because of the bigger tires. Those are significantly taller than the stock rear tires. Got the exhaust, the manifold or header finished up. I don't have any high heat black paint, so it's just going to rust for now until I get some paint. And same with the front end. The front end is all complete, and I did throw some paint on that. What else? Oh yeah. So I got the wiring back in. I originally only stripped the wiring out of it because I was thinking I was going to do a full custom wiring setup. Then again, I'm kind of like, well, I don't really want to spend the time doing something that's not really necessary to get it running and driving right now. Not to mention it's got an electric PTO, so it'd be an extra switch for that and just stuff that I just threw the harness back in. It took me 5 minutes. The fuel tank is still an unknown. I got one comment saying to put the fuel tank up in the front like an old gasser style fuel tank. If I get one, that would be kind of cool. Be a small amount of fuel capacity though. Although my only options are I don't have many options other than that besides putting one on the back like I had on my other one. Either way, I'm going to have to get a tank for it because right now I'm just going to throw something temporary on there. So yeah, I'm going to get the running board on the other side. We'll figure out how we're going to mount the fenders. And it is almost ready to go. Get a fuel tank on there, of course. I'm going to just throw the stock battery box back right up under here and put the battery there just like it was. No big deal there. And then we shall try it. One step of the drill here. Beautiful. Yeah, frickin'. Alright, so we got the running boards on. I'm going to get the fenders matched right up to the running boards. Now, that's going to look really sick, and it's going to feel cool to be sitting in there. It is, however, going to be very difficult to get in and out of, but whatever. Cool is not always comfortable. So what I'm doing is I just drilled that hole there. This is really just to make this will help secure it, but also to make it easier for me to actually make the bracket to come off the frame. So what I'm going to do is get that lined up. I got that hole drilled. I'll mark that on here, drill this. That way we could just bolt that to there, get this all set in place, and then we can make our bracket, the main bracket off of the fender here. Oh, when I get a little bit off. Get a little bit off to that side, I think. Yeah, probably. Is that... No, actually that's probably pretty good. We're looking for, you know, looking down the line here. Is that line straight with that? And it sure is. So we'll go ahead and snug that guy up. Better, nice and straight. Level by eyeball, not level by an actual level. It doesn't have to be perfectly level either, but whatever looks good. Yeah, I don't really like how it is kicked off to the side and not lined up with that. I had originally thought about actually spacing the running board out so that it matched the fender. I may still do that. I could always do that and then just make a filler panel to go right there. Yeah, I don't know. I might even... I don't know. I'll figure it out. Alright, I got both fenders mocked into position via the one bolt holding them to the running board. And I originally was going to bolt to those two holes. I made that flat bar and was going to go down. But with the seat there, it's kind of a tough angle to make that happen without an overcomplicated bracket. So I ended up going to the other two holes, or the one hole and then that hole. And actually it's the same pattern. So my piece worked in either location. And I'm going to come down and back and actually weld it right to the frame here. Now, I'm having to do that first. I'm just going to tack that bracket into place because I got to figure out on this side the shift linkage, or I should say the actual shifter. The shifter itself, normally it would be interfering. It'd be right about here. I don't know if I'm going to actually be comfortable having it all the way back here, but I'm going to see how that's going to do, if that's going to be possible. I also don't know how much travel. In fact, this almost certainly, definitely does not have enough travel. So I may just have to take this and send it further down here to get the shifter to work. But I need to get that in place and figure out where the bracket is before I can then make the shifter. So I wanted to show you how I'm making this bracket. Now, this may not be the way that you would do it, but this is how a redneck from New York does it. So I just took the piece I needed and I sliced and diced it. You can see slice, dice, and then bent it to get it into my position that I want, and weld up. I'm just about to weld up the cracks, and if I can show you this while holding the camera, which will be tough, we'll go into the wide ultra. And so basically that guy is going to weld to that flat bar and weld to the frame just like that. And will that be enough support? Well, I figure with it being bolted down here, and with that, I think that will be enough support. And if it's a little floppy, we'll have to figure something better out. But I'm also thinking I'm probably going to have 2 bolts into the bottom here, so that'll help a lot there. And like I said earlier, I think I'm going to end up running these out so that they're lined up, and then come up with something to fill in the gap, just because I think it will look a lot better having that that body line, if you will, actually lining up. Because to me that doesn't look right. That fender really is made to line up with that running board, so I want it to. Well, I've been waiting for this, and now I'm out of gas. So I do have to. I can't go get it today. That's the long story short, is I can't go get gas today. I think what you're going to end up seeing is me mowing the lawn without the fenders, just because I can get this thing going. It's almost ready to drive. I really just got to throw the shifter on there, put the deck belt, connect it back up, do a quick do something with the dashboard, or not even a dashboard, but just basically turn the key and start it. Because I also have an idea for a dashboard. I think I said that in the last video. I'm not sure. I actually don't know if I'm definitely going to use this or not. I might just go something completely custom, custom made from scratch. That's a little cleaner and nicer looking. But yeah, pretty much I'm just going to get this thing right now driving, and we are going to go attempt with a completely shot deck belt. Another thing that I'm going to have to get, completely shot deck belt. It has shot spindles, like they're not, like they're noisy, you know, and it has rust holes in the deck, which I also wanted to address, but we'll get that in the future. There's one right there. So yeah, unfortunately right now I have to stop working on the fenders, which sucks. But we'll get her done. Another thing I just noticed, I don't like the way the fenders are positioned. From the front, I thought it looked pretty good, but I'm standing back here and I'm just thinking, it doesn't look right having the fender that far in with the tire all the way out there. I feel like these fenders should actually be directly over the tire. So I'm probably going to end up redoing everything anyway. That's still, yeah, that might mean the things that I just made might not even work. See, I kind of liked it where I had the fenders right up next to the seat, because I just wanted to have it like where I'm tucked into the thing, and it would even be an armrest too. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think down in that comment section. Should the fenders be all the way out to the edge of the tires, and then the running boards would really be out of place? They would have to be, they'd be way too far out to almost even be functional, or just leave the running boards in and run the fenders out there. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But either way, I'm taking the fenders off. We're going to get this thing driving. We are almost ready to crank this thing up, listen to it through the new stack. Be disappointed that it still runs like crap because I didn't get a carburetor yet, but I wanted to just show you guys something. So of course I am still definitely going to do some kind of a dashboard here for all the dials and the switches. So of course I just had to temporarily zip tie those there, but I gotta be honest, I'm really proud of my temporary solution for the throttle and the choke. This here is actually for a deck level adjustment. So I guess this optionally doesn't have it. It must be an option. I don't know. But they all have the provision for it. There was a little plastic plug. I don't know what I did with it. Little plastic factory plug in there. And that's supposed to have a knob on it that goes to the deck linkage. And so you can actually adjust the base wherever the base level is. So you can lower it at its full lowest. You could lower it or raise it. The choke cable, it goes right in there perfectly. It doesn't interfere with anything. It's going to be beautiful. And then of course the throttle cable, we just put her right there sideways. That's going to work excellent. And those of course go through the original grommet that they would have. Now one thing I did not foresee when I was building this exhaust, and it's almost in the exact location as it is on my other machine, and on the other machine we got the cables kind of going to the same spot. And I had a little like metal piece of crappy little metal heat shield thing that I wrapped around the cables. And yeah, we'll throw the hood on it, and I got power. The wiring's all done. The only thing I did was bypass the seat safety switch because there is not one right now, and that's it. One thing I will tell you guys, if you're dealing with one of these and you're dealing with your wiring, let's say you wanted to do a something to kind of tidy things up, or custom like this where you had it apart, keep in mind that the power actually goes through the amp meter. And so at first I didn't have these plugged in, and I had no power at all when I turned the key. And actually I don't think I had, actually I gotta still test that the PTO comes on, but yeah, this guy's got to be hooked up. I'm actually going to zip tie this too temporarily right now, just up here, just so I see it. And Now I don't have... Oh. Yep, we got PTO. Nice. So I guess the key's actually got to be on for the PTO to operate. I noticed the PTO is a little bit tight. There's an adjustment. They're not all adjustable, but this PTO has an adjustment on it, the electric PTO. If I remember correctly, I want to say they should be around 10 thousandths. I don't know if I got that confused with 10 or 20, but I think 10 thousandths. Yeah, I think that's what they're supposed to be at. And I just noticed it was tight because it was scraping when you spin it, and it doesn't really have any clearance. But to be honest, less clearance is probably better than better than a large amount of clearance with a PTO clutch. So we'll let that ride. Hopefully it works. I know this worked last year when I actually tried it, so we'll see how she does. All right, exhaust is completely on there. Cables are all set up. Best I could do to keep them away from the exhaust. That one is rubbing on the actual valve cover. Hopefully that doesn't get too hot to wreck the cable. I ended up having to use clamps there. I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but there was enough. It was a little bit sloppy there, and with that bracket the way it is, it was able to slightly move. So now it is completely solid. Hood sitting there because you'll see in a second how it looks when it's on, but I zip tied the gas tank to the hood just as a temporary solution for right now. She's about ready to fire up. On both cylinders. I had the carburetor issue before. It seems to be running better now. That pipe that wasn't hot is hot. See if it moves. No reason it shouldn't. It's still got the stock transmission belt and all that stuff pulley. Got a wiring thing to figure out should be pretty simple. When I let the clutch out, it's not seeing that I'm on the seat, which is interesting because I bypassed the wire, but maybe it doesn't need to be connected. Maybe it wants to be disconnected. So that switch might have been a closed position instead of open position instead of closed position. Switch, whatever. We'll get it. All right, yep, it was exactly what I thought. So the seat safety switch on this is normally in the closed position. I'm sorry, wait a minute. Yeah, it's normally in the closed position, and when you sit on it, it's open, so no connection. So now it's good. Deck fires up, everything works. completely clogging up the discharge. I'll just have to clear it out. I didn't want to stick my foot and my hand down in there. I just have to clear it out. A lot of grass for this thing. And if it's not running right, and I don't even have the blades sharpened, hopefully you can hear me. I don't even have the blades sharpened. The thing obviously isn't running at max power. It needs a carburetor. I got the choke like almost probably 3/4 of the way. But it's mowing it, it's doing something. And it's not that much faster with the bigger tires. It definitely would be cool to have a... I still really like the hydro. Man, am I yelling? Because I still really like the hydro for a mower. Actually, I like it a lot. But it needs to be faster, right? So, figure something out with that. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm like a little bit out of breath. I don't know why I'm sitting on the thing, but I guess, you know, wheeling it and stuff, kind of get out of breath. Just run the deck completely in the up position and then go through another pass. At first I had it on level 3, which frankly ultimately I'm going to have to actually lower the deck for normal mowing because the ride height's a little bit higher than stock. Not much, but a little. But I noticed how I zip tied the gas tank to the hood. I couldn't actually drop it all the way. I could only drop it to level 3. But apparently that's still too much to fight this grass. Not even the grass that's the problem. It's once you go and you get it all the clippings, then they really start clogging it up. Go back over there. But it's kind of funny. At the end of the day, I'm just driving the same stock Husqvarna lawn tractor. There's nothing different than if I was just mowing the lawn and telling you about it, but it just looks cooler and sounds really loud. gotta say, I was expecting that to happen. I lost the deck belt, the main deck belt going from the engine, because it was completely wasted. Honestly, I wasn't able to pull it out and see if it's split. It kind of seems like it's still in one piece, but obviously you can tell that does not matter. She is completely trashed. So I knew that was already trashed, and I need to go get another one. But for what it is, having not sharpened the blades or anything, it was mowing. And yeah, once I lowered the deck again and put it under some more stress, it popped that belt. So, frankly, I kind of would like to put a muffler on it. I mean, it's a little silly. Even if I was just gonna be going off-roading and doing stupid shit with this thing, that's a little bit too loud. I mean, I love, you know what's crazy is my other one's nowhere near that loud. Now, granted, it has probably twice the length, maybe not quite twice, but it has like almost double the length of the exhaust that this has. But I don't know, this engine just really this engine really has some note to it, some volume to it. And of course it's on a governor, so it's just sitting there wide open like whoop. That's probably another reason why it seems louder than mine. Mine is typically not making noise unless you're laying into it and ripping up the road at 40 miles an hour. And I'll tell you what, the steering works great. I'm actually surprised, because I was worried about the geometry of these spindles on this axle. And it does have some like positive camber, which is, you can kind of see it. Certainly can see that one's a little bit out that way, a little bit out that way on that side. The toe seems to be, basically what I'm getting at is, it really wasn't that much worse than a stock mower. Now it's kind of funny, we're putting work into it to make it worse than a stock mower, not better. But it turns pretty tight. I mean, yeah, it's longer, so it is gonna take a little bit more, like, a 3-point turn to do what the stock mower would have done in one turn. But I'm not like, I actually thought it was gonna be way worse, I'll be honest. Yeah, so I actually thought the steering was gonna be a big problem. I did not think it was gonna actually steer properly at all. I was just kind of hoping for the best. And I think I got like grass in my ass. But anyway, I'm just gonna end up getting that belt and finishing the lawn off camera. We saw what we needed to see. The thing is definitely more fun to drive than a stock lawnmower. If there's any accomplishment I made, besides it looking awesome, is that it's way more fun to drive than a regular lawnmower. I don't know why. It's sitting down low and having the steering wheel straight in front of me. It just feels way more fun to drive. The exhaust, again, is really kind of fun little novelty, but it's going to get old really quick if I'm actually using it as a lawnmower. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So I don't know. It's modular though, so the stack itself, that's the straight pipe stack. I can make another one with a muffler. Yeah. So this is the part of the video where I say, if you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button. Also, if you like what you just saw, hit the like button. If you are so inclined to tell me that I'm an idiot for turning a perfectly good lawnmower into an absolutely ridiculously loud POS, can't barely make a 3-point turn, pops a deck belt, and if you're so inclined to leave a comment down below to tell me that I'm a genius for making my lawnmower more fun to drive and look awesome, or that I'm a complete idiot for taking a perfectly good working lawnmower, putting a whole bunch of work into it just so it can do the exact same thing it did originally, but look cooler and be annoyingly loud. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.